Hey, it's John, and today we're gonna go over the Currie Antirock front sway bar on the Cherokee, and then with the Dana 60 Kingpin front end, and then the TK1 Racing rear sway bar. Stay tuned and go wheel. I actually had someone email me from the channel, which is like really cool. Feel free to email me, post comments. I have an Instagram that no one ever responds to or messages me on, but it's like Blonde John Cherokee on Instagram. But I thought it was really cool. And the guy was asking about the sway bars. So I don't run a Dana 30. I don't have a TJ 44. Don't have a JK 44. The idea is still very similar though, so let's go over it. I'm gonna get a flashlight out. We're gonna walk through this stuff. I run a Currie Antirock sway bar that I actually relocated further up in the frame, drilled some holes, and I think I tapped some plate or put some nuts in there. I think you can kind of see that I hole sawed. I can't get the flashlight in there, but I actually hole sawed through the front frame to get that in there. Anyways, there's the hole saw hole. And moved it up, and I'm running I think the 17-inch arms, but I cut them down just a little bit to clear the coils. And then, yeah, just weld some, it looks pretty terrible. Not gonna be ashamed, but it holds up strong. Those are some new rod ends because the other ones failed. From talking to Tony at TK1 Racing, you want your sway bar end length to match the shock travel. So I did the best I could, and that actually helped me out a lot. I actually put on longer sway bar end links because of him. Same thing in the rear. So there's like one single location that you could hole saw through the frame and put a piece of tube in. So there's a piece of tube going through the frame, which you could see right here. Basically hole sawed through the frame and ran the DOM through there, and then butt welded it to the outside of the frame. That's it. And then the TK1 Racing arms, and that's where it gets tricky. So there's no way to fit this damn thing other than one way. So you can see here, I'm actually running, so the sway bar is like outboard of the frame, obviously. You can see some limit straps over there, but then I have some like little shock tabs that I bent myself to try to clear the leaves. And you can see the clearance here is ridiculous. It's very, very tight. And TK1 Racing gives you some tube and some welded bungs and some rod ends. It literally barely clears the frame. I think I had to cut some stuff and clearance it. I have some kind of half-assed frame plating over here. And then the cage actually ties into that angle iron you can kind of see right there. That's basically it. It's pretty short video. I could have half-assed it and put the sway bar end links on top of the leaf buckets or something, or sorry, the leaf perches, but the end links would have been like super short, and I did everything I could to get them to match the travel of the shocks, which I think is a 10 or 11 in the rear. A lot of guys, including myself, so a lot of guys take off their sway bar when they start building the XJ, which is totally fine. The stock rear is junk. I ran without a front sway bar between 2 or 3 different XJs for probably 15 years. And this rig, being on tons and 40s, I don't know, when I got it, it just never really drove that straight. Definitely tippy as hell on 40s, on the Rubicon, on Fordyce, Slick Rock, whatever other trails I've brought it on over the past 10 years. I kind of got sick of the on-road drivability and the way it behaved on off-camber stuff, so I did the front sway bar. But I was still having some issues in the rear. It's funny because I'm leaf sprung in the rear. No one really puts anti-rocks on a leaf spring rig. It made a massive difference and balanced out the whole rig. And then what I did at the same time is I put some limit straps in the rear. I was bending, like completely bending my main leafs every year for many years. I mean, leaf springs for me became a wear part. I got to the point where I was literally just ordering new Rubicon Express 5.5-inch leaves every year. It started off on some bastard packs that were like, I don't even know what they were, previous owner had done them. And I added some leaves to them to help out. They sucked. I went to some Deaver Racing 4.5s off the shelf. I thought for the rig on tons, I thought they were way too soft. I actually hated the Deavers. I went to the Rubicon 5.5s and loved them. And then I got rid of the shackle drop boxes because they lower your rear roll center, and it actually was causing way too much body roll. And you can see I have the rough stuff. Spring hangers in the rear, those got destroyed probably 10 different times. I cobbled together the old ones and welded them together multiple times. But the Rubicon Express ones, now that they're out of business, of course, They're 3 inches longer than stock, and they're perfect for the boomerang shackles. And these are brand new. I mean, they have like 300 miles on them. So yeah, some rough stuff. Shackle boxes, probably should do the fronts, but I don't know. It's all, I kind of boxed it in kind of half-assed. That's it. I mean, that's kind of the story, I guess, is that I was trying to get the rig more stable, wanted the rig to drive better on the freeway and handle better off camber. This thing, for being as tall as it is on a 5.5-inch Deaver racing coil, and with the 60, the Kingpin 60, the coil buckets are kicked off a bit. The rear's got extended shackles. It's got a 14 bolt. It's really stable on the trail, and it feels great in pretty much any conditions. For the most part, now it does. Back in the day, not so much. I ended up converting it to a true 3-link at one point. When I first got it, it had a radius arm 3-link, and it scared the crap out of me. It looked like tweaker welds on the lower arm. And so I cut all that out and put some parts mic lower control arms, and yeah, it's doing good now. I love this thing, but you know, I wheel this all the time because it's comfortable and has air conditioning. It's just a really nice rig. It's not on tons and 40s and an Atlas, but you can see this has got a purpose in life. This has a separate purpose in life. They both wheel mostly the same trails. This will do Fordyce probably. I won't bring it on Fordyce. This will do everything that does. Not as comfortable to get to the trail, not as comfortable on the trail. The PRP seats help a lot, but still a very cool rig. And yeah, that's the story behind the sway bars. I wanted it to drive better on the road and off-road. It's much more balanced. It's super stable. It feels really planted. Honestly, I ran a 44 and a 30 with no sway bars for years, just some stiff monotube front shocks, some stiffer Rubicon Express 5.5-inch coils on another Cherokee for like 10 years. And it was awesome. No complaints. I mean, it drove 85 miles an hour with one finger, tons of caster, good toe, Currie steering on that setup with TNT long arms, radius arms, whatever. It drove good. But this I can't complain too much. Thanks for following along this week. If you want to help me out, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and tell your friends to subscribe. We're always going to be working on XJ stuff, JL stuff, TJ stuff, Wagoneer stuff, Ford Raptor, new Ford Ranger Raptor stuff, and anyone else's rig that comes into my shop that we want to mess with. So yeah, if you don't, that's fine. Comment below on why you won't. Comment below on what you think about the Antirocks front and rear. I actually want to put Antirocks on the JL next. That will happen eventually. Thanks.